Right, you guys are very well known for leading industry architecture in terms of the projects you deliver. Tell us more about what that means to the GRAYA brand.
Well, not everyone would know, but we have our own in-house architects. So we've got a very talented design team in-house. They probably deliver half our projects. The other half we'll outsource to selected architects. And we've noticed in the last 5 years, as we've been progressing from houses into the multi-residential space, there's definitely been a big push for quality design. A lot of the buyers out there have a good eye and expect it now. So we try not to take any shortcuts, and quality design is what sells projects. So you need to make all your projects as good as possible.
Yeah, I think other than site acquisition, the design is a close second most important thing on a project. If you nail it and get it right, the buyers come to you, funders come to you, the staff come to you. It is absolutely key in what we do, and especially in the last 2 years, it's become more and more important. The environment we've seen the market head to, whereas there's a limited supply of builders, limited supply of subcontractors. It's very, very important that before you start construction, that design process is just getting absolutely nailed. You're communicating to the different people that are going to be on the site delivering that project. And if you're just sitting in a room with a group of architects and not communicating to the people that are going to be delivering it, we find that a lot of people go off course. They still get a really nice design outcome, but when it's not buildable or too expensive to build, that can quickly self-destruct a project. The design process is super important and something we have a lot of passion in doing.
And would you say the postcodes you've chosen to develop in, that's been a large part of that strategy?
Yeah, for sure. Like, we like to deliver our projects in, I guess, the blue chip areas, and that's more so because we feel it's insulated from, I guess, external factors to a degree.
Yeah.
So all our sites and all the projects we develop will be in quality locations, and that's part of the GRAYA brand and our strategy and all we'll do moving forward.
Yeah, so our ethos as a company is every project, the goal is to make it a landmark and a standout project that everyone knows exactly where it is, the name of it, they know everything about it. Even your mum and dad can talk about it at a barbecue. And those projects need to be in iconic locations too.
And tell me, interesting finding that balance, because often architecture gets pulled back because people are trying to fit the numbers into a feasibility based on what they think something can be sold for. And so design often is the one that suffers because there's some top number. I mean, today we're in Sculpt in Indooroopilly and I'm looking down a hallway at a lot of curves. There's no straight walls anywhere, so that's not cheap to build. How do you guys find that balance between fine design and cost of construction?
Well, I think it's most traditional developers would do that. They would set a budget and they would work backwards from there. And although we start that way, there has been occasions where the design does evolve, and when you've got something that's just so special and you can see and visualize what it is. We've experienced that our prices and our finished product price changes after we finish the design, and that's assisted the feasibility to be able to spend more on a build. So although we do have budgets that are strict, we do give ourselves a little bit of movement room, and that's where the beauty is created.
And it's also the case of knowing where to spend the money and in what places. So you can spend money in certain places and you'll never see it again. You can spend it in other places and your sales revenues increase. So it's being smart about how you design, where you spend your money, and that gets the best outcome.
So construction costs has been a major issue for the last few years. At first, during COVID, it was really about getting materials, and now it's become more about labour, sourcing guys to actually turn up and do the work. How are you guys managing that?
Yeah, look, it's really challenging. We thought after COVID that we had seen the worst of it. I never thought that we would start seeing a subcontractor shortage, but here we are. We're in Brisbane, the most desirable city to live in 2024, and in Australia, which is probably one of the most desirable countries in the world to live in, and there's no one here to deliver these projects. I guess we're finding that more so big casinos are getting built, big hospitals are coming up, so it's looking like we're going to be dealing with that for the next 5 years. So factoring that in, the relationships with subcontractors how you treat the subcontractors is really important to us as a company, and just really working together, being fair and reasonable, being careful about your design, again, super important, just to be able to keep delivering these projects and not letting this market condition slow us down. So be able to pivot what you do slightly, and being a builder developer company, we're able to do that, whereas a lot of the developers out there that haven't necessarily treated their builders very well over the past 5 years, are finding themselves in a position where they're a lot slower to deliver their projects, if ever. So we're really liking that opportunity for us, our point of difference, to move forward. But it's not all negative, to be honest. Like, we've seen this subcontractor shortage probably move our construction values by about $1,000 a square metre in the last year, whereas sale prices in the suburbs that we've been developing in have probably moved up by about $2,000 a square metre. So although everyone sees it as like, the industry's really struggling right now because of the subcontractor shortage, the builder developers, if they're in the key spots in the high-end market right now, it's a great year. We've had the best year yet in 2023.
And with some respects, it has been a tough market to build houses in. Do you think that's actually helped your being able to deliver finished product to the market when you go to market to sell your houses?
I think our point of difference is we design, manage, develop, build all in-house. So if a client comes to us, we can solve a number of problems for them. They don't have to go to an architect, then find a builder, then get someone to project manage it. We do it all in-house. So whilst we don't take on a lot of client jobs, the ones we do, we take from start to finish and deliver them for people that are generally time poor and want someone they can trust to deliver their family home.
Yeah.
And I think those projects that are getting delivered, whether it's a house or an apartment, if you're delivering an architectural quality product in the market today, we're finding our stuff is, we're holding people back, and it's on the market for a day or two and it's gone for, a number that, people, when we first started construction, you wouldn't be crazy enough to put that number into feasibility. People that are delivering are getting really rewarded.
Most developers focus on branding of their projects. Tell us how you focus branding with respect to the GRAYA brand.
I think from the outset, it was a huge focus. I think marketing yourself and branding properly helps you grow quickly as a company, and we needed that to achieve our goals. We started off doing housing, as you know. We used to look at the apartment developers as inspirational, but always focusing on branding GRAYA first and then the project second. A little bit like Red Bull. You won't see Red Bull ever advertise their tins or their cans. They advertise the lifestyle and the extreme sports that they align with. So I think collaborating with other brands has been something we've done from day one, whether it's an architect, a photographer, a interior designer, a client, an athlete, a celebrity client, whatnot. So financiers, that's it. But it's been really important for us over the years.
Yeah.
And social media has been a big thing. I mean, I've seen people in Melbourne, Sydney, all over the country who know GRAYA, which in a way is kind of surprising because often property developers in a certain location, no one's going to know them outside of that local market. But you guys have done a really good job of turning social media into a big following. I can't think of any.
What are we at now, boys? 150 or 200?
Yeah. Just cracked it.
Okay. Fantastic. Well done. Yeah.
So tell us how you've done that and the importance you've placed on social media and if and what it has actually delivered for you.
Yeah, we made a decision probably 5, 6, 7 years ago to put a big focus on Instagram. We just thought it was a tool that was going to be used more and more into the future. And we didn't want to use it just to brand GRAYA. We wanted to use it as like a sales tool. So now the inquiries we get off the back of our Instagram helps us sell apartments, houses. You'd be shocked by the number of people that buy our products that say they first saw GRAYA on Instagram, or their kids saw us on Instagram and they showed them and they came to an open home and end up buying a house or an apartment. So it's not just a tool for GRAYA, it's a tool for each and every one of our projects.
I think we've actually been lucky enough to avoid putting a lot of our product on realestate.com, for example. We find it doesn't quite get there. So it's an extremely powerful tool. And as Andrew said, it might not necessarily be the buyer you're talking to, but it's their kids or their family and whatnot. But Our last 10 sales, you'd probably say 9 out of the 10, had a connection to Instagram, which is the modern day website. And I think most development construction companies are really faceless brands, or it's an old bloke in a suit and tie that sits behind an office and no one can really relate to. So I think we're not really as good of friends as we make out online, but no, joking. It's nice. It's nice to have the brother connection, and people can relate to us. We have different skill sets, and it's nice to know who's behind the hard work, and people can relate to that, and it turns into transactions.
Yeah, and look, I can certainly speak firsthand. Working with you guys on projects, that level of inquiry from a sales perspective, and then the conversion of EOIs to contracts, really, it's a testament to what you guys are delivering to the market.
It's interesting too that the whole people and how important that is, and the trust in people. When I look back, say in professional services, we're in professional services, and back in the day, if we went back 15 years ago, the idea of going out and doing what we did, there was very few people doing it. You kind of had to have the big brand on your business card, and the same's applied for lawyers and accountants that had to be in the top tier firm to be able to be at the top of the game. But that doesn't really apply anymore. It's about the people, right? And trust in the right people, and being able to deliver top quality no matter where you are.
Mate, you're exactly right. I think people, when they see you online, every day, every second day, they feel like they're building a relationship with you, and they feel like they know you. Where we meet someone the first time and they've already trusted you, and you haven't ever showed them anything, you haven't opened your mouth yet. So it's just such an important tool that so many people put it down the priority list. They go, I'll hire a student or an intern or someone just to run the marketing. But from day one, it's been like our number one priority. It just is ingrained in our business. It just happens, and we've aligned with some other companies that are extremely talented, and just always put an emphasis on it. And monetizing Instagram was something that we've tried to do the whole time, and what better way to do it than to transact properties.
So marketing a professional services company is a lot different than us marketing a project we're going to sell. So how do you guys go about that, or what areas do you focus on?
Yeah, good question. We don't get as much of an opportunity to put pretty pictures up, which a lot of Instagram is lots of pretty pictures. We can certainly leverage off clients like yourselves that do have some pretty pictures, and will associate yourselves with us and the work that we've done for you. So that's certainly helpful. I guess what we do is not so much about the pretty things, but it's about the results that we achieve and how we've gone about that. Whether it's in bank finance, that might be just a cheap deal that we managed to stitch together, or great terms. Certainly a lot in the private finance market, because that's 3/4 of what we do these days, certainly in property development finance. So it can be more about the leverage we've achieved, or the low level of pre-sales or pre-commitments. It can be all sorts of results that we've achieved for our clients, or the kinds of work we've done, because you guys do residential, and so we help you with all of that, but we do a lot in all sorts of other sectors. We work on industrial, commercial, we've done retirement villages, we've done clubs, we've done childcare, and then beyond that as well. One of our challenges from a branding perspective is getting the word out there that we do a lot more than just property development. We certainly do property investment as well, commercial property investment. We started a home loan 3 years ago. We've done your own home loans, and we also do home loans for first home buyers who are buying new product particularly. And then we've also got equipment finance now. We do business finance for all sorts of industries. If anything, from a branding perspective, and that's our ongoing challenge, is how to make that clear to the market that these are all the things that we can help with.
I think from our business perspective, talking finance relative to talking sexy projects, two different scenarios. But for us as a business, it's really important to use social media as an educational tool. We want to make sure developers out there that even we don't know are making the right decisions based off the right facts. And certainly for us, having left the bank, only 6 years ago, the way the debt markets have evolved over that period of time is just really crazy. There's so much new money coming into the system, as opposed to just going down the traditional path and using banks. You've got family offices, small boutique fund managers, you've got the large ones, you've got the insto funds. There's just that many options. And for us as a business, we just really want to make sure that the broader market is understanding what is available there, because there's certainly some large businesses out there that have only ever used the traditional financing methods, being the banks. So I mean, you know, for us, we've got to go to the market and try and get people to pay attention to our story in terms of what we do and how we do it, and the values associated with that, and just allowing clients to understand that there are so many options, and you know, every option has different merits in terms of what a client's trying to achieve.
Yeah, and I think I saw that in my previous life as a QS. I'd see sort of who was working on what deals, and back then it was very rare to see someone other than one of the major banks. But these days, there's so many different options, sort of second tier options, family offices, still the major banks, obviously. But that's why we like to work with you guys, because you have contacts everywhere, and you come to us. It's not just here's one or two options. You come to us with up to 10 options and talk us through every option. What are the pros? What are the cons? And then we can make an educated decision on which direction we go for our projects.
Yeah, it's funny. Like we have so many, developers that start off their journey with STAC as clients, and the first thing they're focused on is interest rate. A couple of years into the relationship, then all of a sudden just, we're looking at different things in terms of really important financial metrics, being return on equity, the internal rate of return for the group, and just the conversation changes so much from when we first talk to clients.